website, and we'll have a bit of a Q&A session at the end of our presentation, which Reese will share in a second. Amazing. So guys, welcome to the Surf Babies program info session. My name's Kate. I'm the president of the Batemans Bay Surf Club. Reese, who was chatting quite frequently with me just then, he's actually got about 6 or 7 roles because he didn't turn up to the meeting. So he's our vice president, our director of junior development, and he's also does social media. He has a lot of roles. We have Tristan on the call as well. Tristan is our Surf Babies age manager, and we also have Anthony, who is here by default, but Ant is actually our state duty officer, and he will be a little bit more involved in Surf Babies this season because his babies are in Surf Babies, which is very exciting. So we thought this is a first for us. It's a first for us to have this many people. Surf Babies is sitting at about 112 registered. Last season, we maxed at 64. So that's a lot of babies to coordinate on the beach when it's like herding chickens. So we thought we would put together just a little information session just so that everybody knows what's expected. And if you've got questions or concerns, we can kind of go from there. But there were lots of queries, and rather than replying to 50 emails a day, we thought it would be easier just to host this. So bear with us. Go to the next slide, please, Reese. So Batemans Bay Surf Club is obviously in Batemans Bay, but we are based at Mooloolah Bay, which I know gets very confusing for people, but we are called Batemans Bay Surf Club, and we cover 64 beaches across Batemans Bay. Up north, we go as far as Dolphin Point, and then as far south as Rosedale is the area that we cover. We do base ourselves out of our clubhouse at Mooloolah Bay, but we do have 2 call-out facilities at Hanging Rock and at Durras, which we also respond to emergency situations from those as well. So we cover a really big geographical location for a really little club, but we do a pretty good job at it. So we get told, which is nice. Tonight, Reese, if you can go to the next one, please.
Sorry, 1 second. I'm just trying to address some people are having some technical issues, so bear with me.
That's okay. So tonight we're going to go through why Surf Babies, like why is it, why do we have this? We'll do a little bit more information about what you can expect and what it's actually about. We'll go through the structure. We've had to structure it a little bit differently this season purely because of the volume of babies we're going to have on the beach. A little bit about how you guys can get involved, what's coming up, and then we'll do a good 15-minute on Q&A if you guys have got anything after that. So if we go to the next slide, why Surf Babies? I don't know if that's something that many of you will have heard before. It is something that only our club does on the far south coast of New South Wales. No one else runs it. But essentially, Nippers starts from the ages of 5.5 and goes up to 14.5. And we found that we had a lot of little kids that came to the beach with their siblings, but weren't actually involved in doing anything. And so Surf Baby started 3 seasons ago with just a handful of little people, and it's grown, like I said earlier, to 64 babies last season, and we're now looking at 112 this season, which is amazing. So it essentially runs alongside our Nippers program. It's not actually a part of our core Nippers program, but it was just to include these kids that were just sitting there doing nothing. They may as well be getting involved. A lot of little people do have, they might be completely engrossed in the beach side of things. They might love it sick and then all of a sudden absolutely be terrified of it. So this program is designed to include them, encourage them, and help them participate in a safe and supported environment, which is why it's growing at such a great speed. Next one, please, Reese. Thank you. So Surf Babies, like I said, it does run alongside our Nippers program, which is going to be chaos. So on a Sunday at 10 o'clock is when we all descend to Mooloolah Bay Beach. For our first session of the season, we will delay the start time at 10:30 just to give us some time to get the big kids off and away, and then we can focus on our little kids. But it will essentially start at 10 and it goes for roughly half an hour, 45 minutes. Little people have very short attention spans, and because the diversity of the group is basically walking age up until 5.5, that trying to keep the attention span of some of these little people is quite challenging at times. When the weather's cold, they turn blue. So quite often we wrap it up between half an hour and 45 minutes. And plus then you guys get in and you get the sausage sizzle started really early. Quite often families congregate on the grass and have little picnics, which is really cute and has a nice club culture about it. So with the Surf Babies program, that's kind of the logistics element of it. We do have an age manager, which is Tristan. But this season, because of the growth, we've had to restructure it a little bit differently, which means that there'll be more parental involvement required. So essentially, we had a whole heap of feedback. We love feedback. We encourage feedback. So if you've got any, please don't hesitate to tell us so that we can take it on board and make improvements as required. But for our Surf Babies, we're structuring it a little bit differently this year, where we're actually separating. We'll have our babies as a whole, but then we're going to have 3 groups to separate the little people. 112 kids is a lot to manage. We need to actually chunk it down into age-appropriate groups where they can then focus on age-appropriate activities. So we will have our little start. We went with an S theme too. We thought it was cute. So we have our little starfish group, which will be ages 2 and under, our seahorse group, which will be 3 to 4, and then our stingray group, which is that 4 to 5 age group, trying to prepare them to move into the under 6s. So with those 3 age groups, what we will be looking for this season are group leaders, I think is the term that we used. Tristan will oversee the group as a whole, but we do need people to actually get in and support those individual groups. And I know there's a lot of people on this call that have bronze medallions and that are perfectly capable of being group leaders, and they would be the people that would be getting the taps on the shoulders because they're qualified. That's the way that we're looking at structuring it. It may work, it may not work. I think it will work a little bit better. What we did find last season is we had littles that have just learnt to walk with the bigger kids, and there's a big difference in their abilities with the activities. So by separating it, I think we'll be able to support those kids that are learning to walk, learning to navigate sand, differently than we will those kids that can actually get involved in stuff like boogie boards and beach sprints and flag relays. So that's the structure that we've got going. Next slide. Grown-up involvement. We call it grown-ups rather than parents because sometimes grandparents come down to the beach or carers or advocates. So we use the term grown-ups just to not offend anybody, basically. But with the Surf Babies program, the only way this works is if there is one-to-one support on the beach. So unfortunately, it's not a babysitting service. And if that's what you had in mind, I sincerely apologise because that's not what we do. With the babies, it is one little person, one grown-up, and that's the way we have to do it. Trying to manage this group is like herding chickens, and we need those grown-ups with them to keep them safe. Everything we do is about safety. It's kind of our thing. So we've implemented the 1-to-1 ratio mandatory. If your little person loses their grown-up, they're taken off the beach to find their grown-up. It's just how we have to do it, unfortunately. Or fortunately, at least you guys get to be involved too. Next slide, Reese. Again. Thank you. So there's a heap of different ways that you can get involved in a surf club. I know Surf Lifesaving has this whole Bondi Rescue Baywatch thing going on for it, and that's not who we are, and it's not what we do. There's a place for everyone in Surf Lifesaving. So we do have our clipboard warriors, we call them, our age managers. They don't need to be lifesavers. They just need to be really good at yelling at people and coordinating with a clipboard. It's that simple. We have got our Nippers Safety Assistant. That's a new qualification that's coming in this season, where if you can tread water and swim a little bit, you can get that qualification. We have a big Nippers support team because Nippers is growing at an amazing rate, but we need to make sure that we've got the infrastructure behind the scenes to make it happen. And so we have people doing stuff like administration, doing sign-ons, doing rostering, helping coordinate the equipment, making sure it gets to the beach, making sure it gets off the beach. There's so many different things that you can actually be involved in, and we need everyone to actually get involved for this to work. We are purely a volunteer-run surf club. Not one person in our surf club gets paid to do what we do, and we need the support of our families and our parents to make sure that we can run this as effectively as we possibly can. We even need people to barbecue. So if you've got a grandparent or an uncle or an auntie or someone that's down that just wants to hang out and cook a barbecue, we need those people too. So there's a heap of different roles. The chief paparazzi role's taken. We've got Tanya who's doing that at the moment. And I know Kate Billette, Ant's wife, has volunteered to take some photos. She does some pretty good ones as well. So we will have a couple of paparazzi running around the beach taking photos as well, because we're creating core memories for our kids. It's kind of a bit amazing. Next one, Reese. Upcoming training. So if you are wanting to get involved, we do have a bronze medallion information session coming up on the 25th of September. You don't need to be David Hasselhoff to do your bronze medallion. You have to be able to swim 200 metres, run 200 metres and swim another 200 metres in under 8 minutes and not drown. That's it. So if that's something that you are capable of doing, please put your hand up to do that. We do have a grown-up training day on the 4th of October, and that is a very practical hands-on session to teach you as grown-ups that are on the beach with the little people what activities we can do to actually help them grow and develop and increase their beach safety awareness and their confidence in the water. We also have a new qualification called a NIPA Safety Assistant. That's real new. It's only been finalised in the last 2 weeks, so we don't have a date for that one yet, but we will shortly, when Reese finds time in his calendar to run it, basically. Next one is Q&A time. I know that was really short, sharp and sweet, but that's what we wanted this to be. We didn't want to scare anyone away, but we also wanted to make sure that expectations were set so that people weren't shocked or surprised. But do we have any questions?
You're welcome to post in the chat as well.
Were we just so thorough we nailed everything?
Maybe we were. You can put in the chat as well if you don't want to come on to the screen. It's all good.
I might put Tristan on the spot. Tristan, did I miss anything?
No, I can't think of anything else. Unless anyone has any questions, specifically.
Ant, did I miss anything? You're on mute.
Yeah, what would a typical Sunday look like for the Surf Babies?
Oh, that's a good question. Who wants to take that one?
And
yeah,
come on.
Ant. So I guess for the Sundays with the kids, when they arrive, we're sort of asking the parents if they can arrive at least 15 minutes early to have the kids prepped and ready to go, just so that way when we go to do our sign-in, we'll basically, Reese is working on a simple sign-in system for all of the Surf Babies. So it will be running in the line of Reese. Are we looking at a QR code potentially?
Yeah, I'm trying to get a system whereby you can scan a QR code and literally be typing, I suppose, or tagging yourselves in and out. I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. Normally we have a list and it's a tick exercise and it does take a bit of time. This is not going to work, unfortunately. You might have worked with 20 or 30 kids. It's not going to work with 112. We'll be there for an hour just ticking people in and out. So we're trying to simplify that process. Still working on it, but hopefully we can crack that before we start.
Yeah, perfect. So basically they'll come in, you'll sign your Surf Baby in, and then they'll be allocated to their group or team leader for that day. What we were speaking about originally when we were talking about planning for the number of children that we've got is basically having, with all the parents, having a roster system similar to how you have at the football and soccer, whereas each under age group will have, say, 5 parents that are allocated to just assist with getting equipment down to the beach with that age manager for that under 2s to 3s or under 3s to 4s or whatever age group it'll be. But basically just having 5 people that are dedicated helpers for that day to get equipment on and off the beach, just to make it easier for the age managers that day. We all do work as a team, but basically there'll be a roster system in place. And if you can and can't make it, well, we can make that work as it comes along. So basically, kids will rock up, they'll join in on their group, meet up with their groups, do a warm-up, and then jump in on the activities for the day. And then before we go, we'll do a sign-off, have a bit of a group debrief and barbecue. So, yeah.
So some of those some of those activities, because that was one of the questions, they vary. So we have had the kids on boogie boards with their parents' support. We get them doing wading, which is essentially them running up to their knees to get them comfortable with wave timing and not being scared of waves and getting comfortable in the shallow side of things. We do beach flags. So they're little plastic poles that we shove in the sand and they have to dive for them. It's a lot of fun. They get real sandy. It's cool. Beach sprints, relays. They build sandcastles. A lot of water play in the shallows. They go on little adventures. If I'm running it for the day, you'll end up with a pocket full of seashells and sand because you're welcome. That's the joy of coming to the beach. But there's a lot of different little activities depending on the weather as well. So if it's a really average cold day, we might take the activities into the auditorium. So it really just depends on the weather, the surf conditions, how the sand's looking. Quite often, for those that are familiar with Mooloolah Bay, we run it at the southern end because it is quite sheltered and protected there most of the time. So that's kind of the kind of thing you'll look at is it's a lot of play, a lot of play.
Lots
and
of
I
games.
did. Yeah, absolutely. I have spoken to a few parents over the last kind of off season who were really worried about their little person being non-compliant, as in the group's doing an activity, but they've kind of wandered off. That's perfectly okay. You know, we're dealing with little people who they've got their own little people thing that they've got going on, and we understand that it is quite hard to keep them with a group. There's no judgment either. So if there's an activity going, your little person doesn't really want to do it, that's okay. They don't have to. We don't force them to do anything at this age. It is purely about them being there, becoming comfortable and familiar with their environment in a safe, supported way. So hopefully that kind of answers the question. We don't have a set, this is the program that we do each and every single week. They're too little for that yet. And that's not what this is about.
There is a lot of, one more point on that, Kate. I think there is what we tried to do as well, though, just so people understand, is we do try very hard to link, I suppose, the activities and some of the games that they play into what they might experience when they get into Nippers. They won't do exactly what they're doing in Nippers, but we are very much preparing them for that Nippers pathway so that they go into Nippers, they're ready and they know what they're expecting, and then they can hopefully progress then into their life-saving career further down the track and help us out with patrolling and the like. So it is all targeted that way, but very much at this age it's all about fun and participation. So yeah, Kate's right. Lots of games, lots of fun stuff, lots of getting dirty in the sand, shallow in water, throwing water at each other. We've got water pistols. We've got all sorts of little games we can play. So got lots of good stuff like that.
I also think, guys, too, from that personal level last season, just seeing my daughter and how she progressed through, I guess, having that one-to-one with the child as well. Also, you know, your child knows you and knows that you're the safe person in and around that water. So being able to build the confidence and seeing them get more and more confidence, but in a group setting, so with other kids that they go to daycare with and things like that, really does help build. So that's sort of what the push for the one-to-one ratio was, just to make sure that the kids feel comfortable and safe while they're doing the activities, and they'll go ahead leaps and bounds and learn about that water safety, which is what we're there for. Hey?
Spot on.
Absolutely.
Couple more questions in the chat. So what should I bring? Oh, go on.
Can I just one thing? I know that a lot of parents put their children into Nippers or into Surf Babies to help them with their surf environment. And I know that there are a lot of parents themselves that are not comfortable at the beach, which is why they put their kids into Nippers. So by doing this, it's actually helping you as well. It's helping you learn and navigate the surf and how to read the surf. So it's not just about the kids, but when you're that one-to-one support, you're learning about the beach as well, which is totally invaluable. The amount of people that don't know how to identify a rip is just astronomical, and there's a guaranteed chance you'll find one at Mooloolah Bay. You know, Mooloolah Bay, not to scare anyone, is a horrible beach, right? We've got a surf club there for a reason. It is quite temperamental. Some days it's beautiful, some days it's horrendous. But what we find is our kids, our nippers that have learnt to navigate the surf at Mooloolah Bay, if they can deal with Mooloolah, they can deal with anywhere. So that's essentially what we're creating. What you need to bring, swimmers are a start. Each of you will get a cute little pink cap. It's offensively pink. It's wonderful, as well as a matching pink rash vest. We do encourage and make that mandatory that everyone's got one. It's how we identify who are our kids that we need to look after at the beach and who are not. Sunscreen, zinc. Please get on the zinc train. If you're not a zinc person, I highly recommend you do it because it's going to save your nose from getting really sunburnt. If your kids feel the cold, you may want to get a wetsuit. You may not want to get a wetsuit. Some kids don't. My kids personally don't feel the cold. They're crazy. Definitely a towel and a water bottle. That's probably about it, to be honest.
Yep. Maybe change your clothes as well
Oh,
sometimes. Yeah, just sometimes halfway through they get a bit cold, and
That's
sometimes
right.
just a change of clothes can help as well.
And we do have outdoor showers too, guys.
Yes,
so
we do.
if it is cold, we do have a whole heap of hot showers so that kids can get warm again. We do not like hypothermia. As lifesavers, we're not a fan of that. So we really don't want to put our kids in a position where they're all in that space. So we do make sure that we watch those signs and we pull the plug before it gets that bad. It is on every Sunday. We do have a break over summer, so we will get kick-started again on the 26th, Reece, of October.
It's the 26th. I will give. I normally prepare a Nipper handbook, which gets distributed at this time of year. There's been a little bit delay because we've been setting the carnivals at branch level. Now those carnivals have been set, I can actually update the calendar. So we'll get that. We'll get that out. It's a handbook. It's got a lot of information in we've talked about tonight, but also about the broader Nipper program. It's a good source of all things about nippers. So just to be clear, when we have a carnival on, the nippers go to the carnival. We do not run the under fives. We do not run other nippers when the carnival is on. So there are normally 3 weekends in addition to the break over Christmas where there are no nippers run at the beach. That will be clearly articulated in the handbook, but I think we will also do some posts. Kate's got a good handle on the social media this year, and she's already planning monthly posts around what's coming up. We'll make sure that's really clear. Make sure we've also got a WhatsApp group. Obviously, you've all seen our social media. Make sure you're following that. We'll give you access to the WhatsApp group because we're just trying to get information out in all the channels possible because we realize people like different things. So we try to, unfortunately, spam you is the word that I would use, but it's better to spam to be sure, I think. Next
Spam's
question.
a great word. Spam's a great word, Reece.
We do spam, and I apologize for it because we do spam 100%, but it's on purpose. It's done intentionally because we want to get the message out. Next question is around parents registering. So this is a really good question. So my rule of thumb is if you are doing the under fives program only, so if you're doing your one-on-one with your under fives, you do not need to register. However, if you have children in the under fives and then you have 2 children in the Nippers program, say under 6s and under 8s, and you foresee that you might at some point help in the older age groups while your partner helps with the under 5, I would suggest that you register. Any form of helping in the surf club for the formal Nipper programs requires a membership for insurance purposes. We also do like you to get a working with children check done as well. That is preferable. So if you do want to help out, particularly with the Nippers program, so that's under 6s up, please register. We do incentivize that registration process as well by giving quite heavy discounts towards families. I know it's not expensive anyway to join Nippers, but I think if we want to reward those people that want to help, and we do that through the family memberships. So if you've got 2 adults and 2 children signing up, you will get a discount. Just on that point as well, so after this meeting, I will start to issue out invoices. Those invoices will come through probably for $50 for a single Nipper for the under 5s program. If you do want to join up as a family, and some of you already have, and I've tried to capture that as well, so you might not get an invoice, please email me back and we'll arrange that a different way for you. Otherwise, you'll just be paying for your under 5s program.
Also, just to capture, if you do want to help out, send Reese an email, please.
Yes.
So if you are happy to jump on board and be one of our group leaders, we essentially need 2 to 3 per group to make life easier. When it is one person that is responsible for it each and every week, it gets taxing, and we don't want that. We want this to be as fun for you guys as it is for our little people. So essentially we're looking at 2 to 3 group leads, and bucket carriers. We need someone to help with the QR sign on. So if you are interested in helping out, please send Reese an email. That is reese@batemans-bay-surf-lifesaving-club.com. And he can capture that and help coordinate it. Or nippers, that's also one. So yeah, please just flick us an email so that we can then try and coordinate everything. We do have that parent training day on later, or what was it, the 4th? The 4th of this month. We've got a lot of dates on, so sorry about that. If you are, I did see that someone is unable to attend that. We will have ongoing coaching throughout the season during each session as well. So we wouldn't just throw you in and expect you to do that. We've kind of grown past the stage of having to do that now. We have so many people on board. It's not just a sink or swim situation. So if you're unable to attend, you will get some coaching. You just buddy yourself up with one of the qualified guys that are in the group. And yes, working with Children Check for the purpose of volunteering is totally free.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a painful process, but it is worth it.
Just the one last question I can see in the chat here. So are the 3 groups strictly age-based? So and is there flexibility in the program? So look, the answer simply is yes. We've always been flexible. The Nippers program itself is actually flexible as well. So you are actually allowed to go up one age group and down one age group. And we do apply that same procedure, if you like, within the under 5s. We haven't had to, but because we've always just had one group, but this year we can do that as well. So if you do have an older 4-year-old, 5-year-old as well that is capable and wants to give Nippers a try, I'm actually willing to support that as well. There's been a couple in the past that don't want to do the babies and they want to go straight into Nippers. Technically, we're not supposed to do it, but because we run the surf program and because we've got our due diligence in place and because I allow it, we will continue to do that, and we'll do it under supervision. So if you do find your point, and you're welcome as well, just on that. So you're welcome as well to start in your age group, and if you're finding that you're not getting as much benefit out of it, or you want to try something different, by all means, come and see me on the beach. Come and see Ant. Come see Kate. Come see Tristan. Anyone that's wearing an orange vest, come and see them. Tap them on the shoulder, and we can have a chat and we can discuss how better to meet your needs. We are honestly as flexible as possible. We want this to be a really good experience for you and your children, and we want to retain you. So we want you to go through this process, and we want you to come back next year. So the last thing we want you to do is come to the first session and go, oh, this is not good. This is not what I signed up for. Come and have a chat to us. We can make some adjustments, whatever you need, and we can move forward.
That's a good thing about being the only club that does it, is that there's no precedent set, and we can kind of do whatever we need to do to make sure that everybody's getting what they want out of it. There's no hard and fast rules. This is the first season. We've split up to the 3 groups. It might not work, but we had to put something in place. We couldn't just have 112 surf babies in one group on the beach. It would have just been a disaster, and we're trying to avoid those.
Yeah.
Are there any more questions? Queries, concerns, feedback? No? Amazing.
So just to confirm before we sign off, just to confirm next steps, like I said, we will be issuing invoices over the next probably week. There's quite a few to get up, so give us some time. Once your membership is paid, that's when you will be officially locked in, I suppose, to the program. Until you make that payment, you won't be necessarily fully registered into the program. So that's why we've given you this presentation today, to give you an overview, just in case there is some misalignment or misunderstanding of what you're signing up for. So you can, if you choose to back out, you can at this point before you've committed any funds. But obviously, we don't want you to do that. Please sign up, please pay, and come and have some fun with us on the beach.
If you do get an invoice and you choose not to, can you just let us know? Because otherwise
Yes.
you'll go on the list to be chased, and we'll be, like I said, we're all volunteers, so we'll be wasting our time chasing
Yeah.
you. So if you do get an invoice and you choose that it's not for you, please just let us know. Capped numbers, we can't commit to that, Shaw family, because Reese and I are still arguing over it. He wants it to be one number. I say everybody can come and join. So until we actually
I think the point,
decide.
I think the point on that is we can only cap once there's a commitment. So let's see how many of people pay and commit and turn up, and then we can work it out from there. But as far as it is right now, it's uncapped, which is quite frustrating to say, but it is uncapped as present because Kate wants it uncapped.
Yeah.
We'll be able to run buses from the car parking, Lillipilly for all the car parking.
Well, yeah, we're going to need to,
Perfect.
aren't we? What a beautiful problem to have.
Yeah.
There's no car parking.
Yeah.
And don't park in the spots that say no car parking. You will
Yes,
get
don't
fined
park on the
regardless of
grass.
who you are, because I got one last year and I
Yeah.
nearly cried. So don't do it.
Yeah, don't do that. No.
Don't do that. Well, we promised 30 minutes. It's 33, which is actually pretty good. So if you guys have any questions, please email, send us a DM. Reese and I are both on the social DM side of things. So if you need anything, just let us know. And otherwise we'll see you on the beach.
Look forward to meeting you all.
Bye,
Have a good
guys.
night.
Thanks, guys. See ya.
Thanks all.
Do you stop recording, Reese?
That's what I'm doing.